friends. Welcome back to your Emotional Support Podcast. I'm your host, Noelle Rizzio. In this season, we're helping working moms stop the guilt cycle, reclaim their worth, and move from juggling to thriving. So far, we've worked on unpacking guilt, talking about that invisible labor, the myth of supermom, and that charming inner critic in your head. Shout out to Nicole, right? And today we're tackling one of the biggest struggles for moms everywhere, boundaries. Or more specifically, how to say no, not today, or figure it out yourself without feeling like the worst mom, partner, or human alive. This episode is called Boundaries Without the Guilt Trip. We're going to talk about why setting boundaries feels so uncomfortable, especially for women and moms, what healthy boundaries actually sound like, and a few go-to scripts straight from my free guide, How to Set Boundaries Like a Boss. Because yes, you can say no with kindness and confidence and still be a good mom. So why do boundaries feel so hard? Let's admit it, most of us were not raised to have healthy boundaries. We were raised to be helpful, accommodating, and nice. We learned that saying yes gets you praise and saying no gets you side eye. Then we became moms, and suddenly everyone needed something from us all the time. Kids, work, family, school, text threads, group chats, it never ends. So when we even think about saying no, our brain sounds an alarm. You're being mean. You're letting someone down. You should just do it. It will be easier. But here's the truth. Boundaries aren't walls. They're filters. They don't keep people out. They keep your inner peace in. And when you don't have them, you end up drained, resentful, and running on caffeine and fumes, which helps no one, especially yourself. So let's talk about that lovely feeling that hits right after you say no. Guilt. You say, sorry, I can't volunteer for this school event. And immediately your inner critic, Nicole, chimes in. Wow, must be nice to have all that free time you're not giving away. Or your kids ask for something unreasonable and you say, not today, and spend the next 2 hours wondering if you just scarred them for life. This is me. I have a really hard time saying no to my kid. But guilt doesn't mean that you did something wrong. It just means you're doing something different. You're breaking the old pattern, the one that says my worth equals my usefulness. So when guilt shows up, take it as a sign that you're growing. You're not being selfish. You're setting yourself free. I've typically been pretty good at setting boundaries in my personal life because I covet alone time. I'm definitely an introvert, and I recharge by just having some time by myself. So I'm pretty good at socially being able to say no to different things that are asked of me. But when it comes to my family and definitely my work, my weakness is that it's easier for me to just do it mindset. I was single for a very long time and I got really used to doing things myself because who else was going to do them? But once I had my son and then got married, I was doing everything for 3 people instead of 1. And I was very overloaded and resentful. But it was so hard for me to ask for help. I really didn't even know how. It was easier for me to just do things myself because I was the one who knew what needed to get done and how it needed to get done. But then that resentment boiled and turned to anger and outbursts at my people who didn't even know that they were doing anything wrong. Once I learned that I needed to ask for help and delegate things, I was able to realize that sometimes it's actually not easier for me to do it myself. Things got better, and I was definitely more pleasant to be around when I started sharing that load. I learned that boundaries don't push people away. They teach people how to love and respect you better. All right, so let's get practical because there are so many moms that get stuck with boundaries. Setting boundaries doesn't have to sound harsh. You can be firm and kind. Here are a few quick reframes straight from my boundaries cheat sheet, How to Set Boundaries Like a Boss. When people ask you for your time and you're really stretched, instead of, I guess I can make that work, which we've all done, you can say things like, I'd love to help, but I don't have the bandwidth right now. Or, thank you for thinking of me. I'm focusing on my current priorities, so I'll have to pass this time. Or when your kids treat you like Google, Alexa, and Uber all at the same time, instead of automatically trying to fix everything, try, that's something that I think you can figure out. I believe in you. Or I'm happy to help after I finish this. For now, see what you can do. Best story about this, my kid, he was super into Legos for a long time, and it was great. He would go up to his room, hunker down with a Lego set, and every few minutes he would come, Mom, I need help. I can't find this piece. So I was getting up, stopping what I was doing like every few minutes to go and help him look for a piece that he couldn't find. Eventually, I told him, okay, look for the piece for 5 more minutes, and if you still can't find it, I will come and help you. Most of the time, he was able to go ahead and find that piece on his own, and I could stick to what I was doing. Another time that you might have to set boundaries is when your family guilt trips you. I know this can be very common. They say things like, but you always host, or we're really counting on you to do this or that. You can say, I love you, but I can't take that on right now. Or that doesn't work for me this time. I hope you understand. The key here is to remove the apology. You're not sorry for having limits. You're just communicating clearly. Boundaries said with love are still boundaries, and the people meant to be in your life will adjust. The rest will learn that they have to. Okay, a quick timeout. If you're listening to this and thinking, okay, but how do I actually say no without sounding like a jerk? I've got you. I've put together a free guide called How to Set Boundaries Like a Boss. It's full of simple scripts and phrases you can literally copy and use with your kids, your partner, your boss, even that friend who always wants you to organize the group gift. You can grab it for free at noelrizio.com or just tap the link in the show notes. All right, now back to saving your sanity, one boundary at a time. So how do you stop feeling bad after setting a boundary? Here are three quick reminders. You're not responsible for other people's emotions. You can be kind and considerate, but you can't manage someone else's disappointment. I think that's huge for us women to learn. We are not responsible for other people's emotions. Yes, we can do our best to make sure that we don't, do something that might make someone else feel bad, but we can't control their emotions on their end. Another reminder, boundaries protect your best self. You can't show up with patience, love, and humor if you're running on fumes. Boundaries make space for your energy and your joy. Otherwise, you're just going to resent your people for not picking up their end of the bargain. Another thing, guilt fades, freedom stays. Every time you hold a boundary, that guilt gets quieter and the peace gets louder. It's like exercising a muscle. It's uncomfortable at first, right? It feels a little sore, a little uncomfortable, but soon it starts to feel strong, okay? It's the same way with boundaries. So here's the bottom line. You can say no and still be loving. You can rest and still be a good mom. You can protect your peace and still care deeply about others. It's not selfish, it's healthy. If you've loved today's episode and want a few ready-to-use scripts to make this easier, grab my free guide, How to Set Boundaries Like a Boss. It's full of quick, realistic phrases you can use with your kids, your boss, your family, and even that Nicole. Next week, we are diving into redefining self-care beyond bubble baths and Target runs. So if you like what you heard in this episode or you think somebody else might benefit from it, please share it. Let somebody know that they should be listening. We want all moms to feel good about setting boundaries. Until then, take a deep breath, stand firm in your no, and remember, you're not being mean, you're being wise and healthy. I'm so glad you're here.